5231, 5285.
All right, we are live again. Let me get set up here.
We're getting into a fight with a brother a couple days ago. At the basketball court now, our collar's waiting.
Oh no!
Green Lincoln SUV.
I keep flipping on all the wrong things. All right. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm in traffic on 694. I had to run up to one of the suburbs here quick to grab something, and now I'm back. For those of you who are new to our live stream, I'm Mike Martin. I'm an Undersheriff with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office. We are in Minnesota. We are on the opposite side of the river from Minneapolis. Our capital city is St. Paul, which is in Ramsey County. We are the smallest geographical county in the state, but with the largest population. So we're a very dense population, very diverse community here. We have about 500,000 residents, and about 3 years ago, the sheriff started Live on Patrol as a way to educate the community about who we are and what we do, and kind of show the inside of the work we do. He patrols on Friday nights with his partner Pat Scott, who's a deputy with us, and they both worked together for many years at the St. Paul Police Department, and so they generally go from about 9/11 to 2-3 in the morning on Friday nights into Saturday morning. On Mondays, I do Mondays with Mike, and on Wednesday, our cat team goes out. So Pat Scott was gonna ride with me again today, but I had to go to a quick meeting with the sheriff and some other people, and by the time we got done, Pat was already knee-deep in a case with stolen cars. So maybe we'll try again next week, but I'm headed back into the city of St. Paul. You are riding in the back seat of my Chevy Tahoe. Actually, because I don't have a partner, you can ride shotgun today. But that means you're the canine too, so if we gotta chase somebody, you're gonna have to bail out and go after them. We are in that time of year in Minnesota that we love, where it's summer. We're not freezing. And actually, the mosquitoes this year haven't been too bad. We've had a busy weekend this weekend, although Friday night wasn't really busy. If you were with us, Friday day was, and the weekend was. Unfortunately, we had a 12-year-old boy who was shot and killed. Reportedly by a 14-year-old boy that may or may not have been an accidental, but very tragic situation anyway. In the city of St. Paul, we had a boater who drowned on Bald Eagle Lake and White Bear Lake, and our water patrol worked diligently to recover his body and get him back to his family.
And tell me what percent.
I am scanning multiple channels.
He's been wearing a black t-shirt and dark shorts. And the knife is going to be about a 6-inch black blade with steel on the knife.
All three of the main channels in St. Paul, all three of the main channels in the county and suburban areas, as well as statewide and metro-wide channels. So if something kicks off, we should know about it. We're on 694 right now. We're going to go south on 35E back towards the main part of the city. I hope everyone's enjoying their day, and I appreciate you taking your time to watch me, and the time you take to watch us and support us. There are members of the CAT team are out right now in, I think they're all in the city of St. Paul at the time, right now, and looking for stolen cars, carjacked cars, stolen cars that may have been involved in other crimes. Our CAT team is our carjacking and auto theft team.
Okay,
673 dealing.
If you haven't done so yet, please share this broadcast with your friends on Facebook or YouTube, and subscribe if you're on YouTube, or follow us if you're on Facebook. I think right now we have about 105-ish thousand followers on Facebook and about 250,000 subscribers on YouTube.
I was going to pretty well East Road, Hiawatha, then.
It's been a busy morning. Monday mornings generally are. We have a staff meeting to make sure we're all kind of on the same page, talk about things that we have going on, and we also do some planning for the week and talking about, incidents that have occurred over the weekend and what we need to do.
4450 all in place 20.
We're lucky to have some just tremendous crime analysts that work for us that do intelligence analysis, crime mapping, and provide us with the best possible information about where cars are being stolen and recovered, and who got arrested over the weekend, and those type of things, so that we can hit the ground running. I really haven't. I've been so busy that I haven't really looked too much at our ongoing stolens. Looks like state troopers are behind a couple stolen cars right now, following them on I-94 in Minneapolis. And we could be further away, but not much further away. So if they come this way, continuing, they'll go southbound on 94, and then it turns into eastbound. If they continue over into Ramsey County, we will get involved. Looks like they aren't. They're getting off and going into South Minneapolis. I'm getting these texts. For some reason, I'm not getting the sound on my text, but they're popping up on my phone. So then we are, let's see, what else are we looking for? One of those stolens they're looking for if you're over in Minneapolis is Charles Victor Boy 398. It's a Mazda CX-9. Does not say on here what color it is, but if you see that car, call 911. They got off on the Hennepin-Lindale exit.
147.
I think the guy left at 9:50, or the caller has any more information.
We're also looking for a 2002 tan Toyota Sienna,
Do you still see
which
the
was
mail?
taken on a test drive and not returned from the city of, looks like Carpenter West, so it's St. Paul. King Roger X-Ray 695. King Roger X-Ray 695. So we'll keep looking for that one. We're going to get off here on University. This is interesting. I'm just going to advise this guy he can't be here on the highway. Hey, bud. How you doing?
Oh, nothing.
Are you all right?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay, you can't be up here because this is
All right, I'll go
considered to
back
be
down
on
to
the highway.
hospital. That's where.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. You're good though? You're all good?
Yeah.
All right.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yep, have a good day.
I'll be good day 57.
So he's walking up an off-ramp from the highway. It's an area where a lot of homeless people hang out, but this is the first time I've seen one this far up the off-ramp. Looked like he was looking for maybe some scrap metal there. He had a aluminum can with him. There's a recycling facility nearby where if they get enough scrap cans and whatnot, they can exchange it for money. But he was moving okay, so we will let him continue walking down the ramp. We're driving to hospital now, where many of our community's heroes work. You wouldn't think of them as heroes usually, but they're the ones who save a lot of lives through the work that they do, and they don't get enough credit for it. A lot of nurses, doctors, medical assistants, you name it, they're here every day. And if I got hurt in the line of duty, that's the place I would want to go. We have some tremendous medical facilities in the Twin Cities area. The Regents Hospital is a level 1 trauma center, as well as Hennepin County Medical Center, HCMC, and North Memorial Hospital, which is in the city of Robbinsdale, are all level 1 trauma centers. University Avenue in West Lake. I'm going to go around the block here and go back because Rice is a busy area lately on Rice Street, so I'm going to go down Sherburne to Rice and see how it's going. Unfortunately, this area is off and on problematic for drug dealing and prostitution, and therefore that leads to a variety of other related crimes, robberies and thefts and criminal sexual conduct related to the prostitution.
The male is now in the Menards lot, digging through the grass in front of the doors with his knife.
Copy.
So we're gonna go north here on Rice Street.
532.
532.
Not as much as this across the street from 10 Exchange Street West. There are 2 females that are fighting.
Really? Squad 531, she's just an AOA assisted with transit in 535. Me and 535 are going to head up there. What's the address again?
It's across the street from 10 Exchange Street West, near the steps of the Church of Scientology.
Roger, copy, route.
So I know, unfortunately, you can't see everything I see, but was watching a group coming down the sidewalk here, and
white shirt, black pants. The other is wearing a green sweatsuit. She has a bra on.
522, copy.
watching. They approached a male, but
That was your lights are on.
they had a quick conversation, and then they split up. On the comments, someone asked about how close we are to US Bank Stadium. We are probably about 10 to 12 miles from US Bank Stadium. If you went straight down University, you'd eventually get there with a couple jogs, but you can get on the light rail and take it right to US Bank Stadium from downtown St. Paul.
With a genuine female, not eating or drinking, vomiting, heavy breathing, failure to press.
2260 traffic.
We're northbound on Rice. Right down here is where Pat recovered a stolen earlier, Pat Scott. I think with some other members of the CAT team. I heard him on the air.
2260 traffic.
$179, the male left in the Menards lot and is walking north on Pryor now.
Okay. This is I can check on 3300 Black Lake, Johanna.
So I'll keep the radio turned up so that you can hear what's going on, but you're going to hear a lot of calls in areas that are far away from us, so we won't be responding to them unless it's reasonable.
Chauffeur. I copy this. Suspicious. This is Quebec, Little Canada. 626 County Road C2. There was a male that was on the College Court. So he went across the street to a different neighbor's yard. But eastbound, black male in his 20s, dreads, no shirt, the jeans, green, black, no shirt.
Church 6705.
We're in a pole. We have wires wrapped around the truck. Fireman. We're free with Bill. On 60,
cut down rows here because Maryland is closed off. And
179. We do not need medics if you're anyone.
I don't have medics in route. They started fire. Do you need fire for the wires?
Yes, we do need fire.
143 to you, local start XL.
Jordan Mountain.
I had fun riding with Deputy Pat Scott on Friday night. The sheriff had a family commitment, and
Illinois plate for truck.
so I had the honor of filling in for the sheriff as if anybody could. And rode with Pat Scott. It was a lot of fun. It was the first time the two of us had ever been able to ride together, and so I learned a lot about him, and I think he learned a lot about me. And we're gonna head over, let's see here, to the east side of St. Paul, which means I gotta change channels here on my radio.
Thomas, I didn't catch him with those two cars in front of you. They're parked side by side. I went to Great Run those police were driving. Wasn't able to grab it. Cars gonna follow me. Good one.
Here's route to 13, and then we circle in North Oak, Venecio, detective that's coming.
Tabby Ferguson was.
There's no injuries. I copy that, thank you.
Somebody asked how long did I live in Salt Lake City. I lived there for basically 2 years. My 8th grade year in school and my 9th grade year in school. And then we moved here. 8th grade I was at Eastmont Junior High. And 9th grade I was at Alta High School, which was a pretty new high school at that time. And then I moved here to Minnesota in June of 1980. And when I was 15,
Go ahead. Can I?
News start for the Shoreview Community Center in the lower level. We had a 10-year-old male that was unconscious in the water. They pulled him out, possible seizure.
So our water patrol will respond to that call at the Shoreview Community Center with a 10-year-old male who was unresponsive, and they think he might have had a seizure in the pool. It sounds like he's, they would say, if he wasn't conscious and breathing now. So, but anything like that, a drowning or near drowning or anything, our
14 to those well.
water patrol will handle.
2414's en route.
361 I can adjust.
in Minnesota, anything that occurs in the water or a waterway or lake or pond is the purview of the sheriff's office in that county. We're on Maryland Avenue on the east side of St. Paul. I was wondering today while we were eating lunch but talking business, so does that qualify as like a lunch meeting? When does it quit being lunch and turn into a meeting? We went to Mavericks for lunch, of course, awesome food. And then, but we started talking staffing and personnel and other issues, so to me that turns into a lunch meeting. It's no longer just lunch. By the way, if the fan, I don't know if the fan on the air conditioner is too loud, but I have to keep it going just to keep the mount from falling off the windshield. So I don't have a fancy camera crew to hold my camera, so it's just mounted to the windshield, and if I don't keep the windshield cool, it'll fall and you guys will fall on your head. So
other DOC call first and venture the parking lot.
Somebody that I talked to last week, and this, I don't know why this just popped in my head, but asked me, so when there are two officers in the car, how do you decide who does what? That's a really good question, and I can only speak for what I generally do and what we did when I was a Minneapolis police officer. Generally, the driver drives and pays attention. The passenger runs the microphone and the computer, and that way the driver can focus on driving and being careful and watching the bad guys while the passenger is on the radio relaying what's going on, running license plates, all that kind of stuff. At Minneapolis, if you're the passenger, you write the reports that are mutual reports, and then you switch halfway through the shift. Then the passenger becomes the driver. So that's generally how it works. I'm not sure if that's how it works in St. Paul. We'll have to ask one of them, either Pat or Bob or one of the officers that we run into.
That's how we did it in St. Paul.
Oh, Deputy Pat Scott just said that's how it was in St. Paul too. And generally, if you had a rookie, if you were training in a rookie, then the rookie would write all the reports. And if they were lucky, you let them drive. And they were responsible for checking out the shotgun at the beginning of the shift and returning it at the end of the shift. but not many people carry shotguns anymore because the patrol rifles that we have nowadays are so much more accurate and at a longer distance as well. And
PD gun assist on a PLR.
but if I was getting attacked by a grizzly bear, I would want a shotgun with slugs in it. So maybe that's just me. It's probably a good thing there aren't any grizzly bears here. We have black bears, but they tend to be scared of people. And they run off if you make a lot of noise.
30 seconds. You can send me something.
This photo says Oak Kellogg in College. At the base of the cathedral, there's a tunnel. Someone spray painted the wall. Someone is spray painting the wall. It's going to be a white female, 20 with a white shirt, blue shorts.
We're southbound on Prosperity here. We're going to come back out to Maryland. I like to make that little loop because oftentimes there are stolen vehicles up off of Hazelwood. But I didn't see any even suspected today, so that's good.
2160 County Road Echo West.
We're right by the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, which is the Minnesota State Investigative Agency. They investigate any officer involved shooting or death in custody. They assist outstate areas with major like homicide investigations, shootings, stabbings. They are our state's crime lab, and they also have narcotics and other specialized investigators, and do a tremendous job there. And then of course we have the Minnesota State Patrol, which are the troopers that work the street, the highways. I say the street, but I mean on the highways. There was just a big annual competition for the best looking squad cars, and I think the finalists were the Minnesota State Patrol and the Florida State Patrol, and I voted for Minnesota. Florida cheated. They had a gator in their picture. I think that's cheating. You can't have a live animal. You just gotta have a picture of the car. But our troopers do a ton of work. Obviously, in the metro area, it's mostly traffic, reconstructing accidents, traffic enforcement, commercial vehicle inspections. But in the outstate areas, they back up the smaller agencies a lot in the sheriff's offices and get a lot more involved in the day-to-day policing. southbound there now on White Bear Avenue.
$44.50 is called driving. Westminster. That's going to be way up front. Let's go to 307. That belongs. Kevin.
Looking at the pending calls here as well as the ones that are assigned to squads. Looking to see if there's any in the area, especially suspicious
Thank you. And all the extras are the
people, suspicious vehicles, recovered property, which oftentimes is someone calling in that there's a vehicle parked in front of their house or on their property and it turns out to be stolen. But I'm not seeing anything right now, so we'll just keep patrolling around.
Transport. One adult female, LEC from
Vice Jetta.
I'm good for.
Number
3612.
74, you monitoring?
Everything.
Pull over here for a second.
You want to change it to a juvenile incident and then clear spot support.
Copy.
Sorry about that. I needed to run a plate, and I knew that if I tried to do it while I was driving, I was going to smash into somebody.
2774, you on the county main?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jetta's looking for a phone call.
Yep.
2267 medical.
So we're on Old Hudson Road here.
97 Hammond Road. It's the 89-year-old female.
As you can see, whoa, they're doing a little construction. I almost fell off the face of the earth there. And we're going to check a couple more areas here on kind of the far east end of St. Paul for stolen vehicles. Right by the Conway Community Center, Conway Rec Center. Tremendous facility. A lot of soccer fields. They play, I've seen them playing baseball out here. Inside, obviously, there's basketball courts. It's just a great community asset.
Traffic.
5365.
Lexington and eastbound on ramp to 8 Bourbon, so 18 November Bravo 4228.
Lexington 694, 6236.
Forty-four, 46.
3446.
Squad's being Route 255 Ferndale.
Just running some plates of cars that have broken windows or otherwise suspicious.
Forest, they got someone in the van, they're driving like a bunch of idiots here. Gotta stop them.
So we're a ways off, but we're gonna go to where Sergeant Servatka has some people in a van. He said we're driving erratically. That's not exactly how he said it, but we'll head that way and tell he's code 4.
Copy 1628.
Just north of Magnolia. Big town of country, full of people.
Color.
So he's got a town and country minivan full of people, he said. So we'll head that way. Just make sure he's safe and see if he needs an extra hand. We're a ways off, but that's our guy. So
City
2460 North Victoria, Central Park, Victoria East, in the parking lot on the west side of Victoria. Caller's car window was smashed. The person's taken in the car is being used nearby.
this person's not paying attention. Pretty normal.
106.
When you're available, can you call Council 23?
2365, that traffic. Code 4. They're running a name there.
Alright. He just called out that he's code 4. He's just running a name now, so they'll run the driver and
535.
make sure they have a valid license and they're not wanted or anything. So we'll kind of
They're going to be on a PFP near Spark.
continue that way because I've been there before where you say that and then it turns out the person is wanted. So, as a matter of fact, I did it once when I was live on a Friday night. Stopped a guy and it turned out he was wanted for a shooting. And I was going to warn him about driving a little too fast.
Right on Intel. Good, Steve.
You're still planning to meet me at the fairgrounds?
Oh, no. Oh yeah, I apologize. I'm checking the batteries and then I got sidetracked doing some other stuff here in the office. Not gonna be able to make it. Sorry. No problem. Hey, and thanks for that item. Joe just dropped it off to me. You guys gotta stop doing that. You're trying to stop making me do good. Oh no, you're in the big guy. Anything for you.
Go to help. Stuck on the wall. We can bring and she needed help. It's called 911. She left the address.
So we have a channel where we can talk to each other, and it makes it easier for us to communicate sometimes. And we just have to remember that if we need the outside world's assistance, we have to go to a different channel, which sometimes hard to do on the fly.
I'll be back. Alright, so put this UFC back in Cindy. I'm gonna add finish that other call, the one you're checking at the same location. Put all three on it.
I just want to remind people to, on the stream, to just be kind to one another. It's
5, 3, 2.
sometimes tempting to poke fun, but let's try to be super nice.
Or people fighting in front of 340 theater. They're just fighting.
Negative. We don't.
Bunch of people in front of.
We're on 3rd Street by Johnson Parkway, and we are going to head north here for a minute on Johnson Parkway. It's a beautiful area over here.
Highway 96 for the holiday can run powered vehicles, trucks, and other vehicles for gas help on West Brown Lake Road for the gas residents for the blue SUV.
I'm thinking one day I'm gonna make up stories about neighborhoods and streets over here and see how many people catch on and start correcting me. So in Minneapolis, when I worked over there, it was all First Avenue, Second Avenue, Third Avenue, and then they'd throw in a ringer every once in a while, Portland, Park, Oakland. And then the streets were the same, so it was kind of boring until you go to the northeast Minneapolis, where all the streets are named after the presidents. They're in the order of the presidents. So if you're like me and you slept through that class in high school, you may not know, but I learned the order of the presidents just so I could go to calls. But over here in St. Paul, it's names of streets.
180.
And a lot of times they're named after historical figures.
Taking care of the power lines.
In St. Paul, and other times they're
it also appears that
named after presidents or governors.
Internet lines, and Quality Inn said their internet lines are through CenturyLink, so I don't know if you're able to advise them or not.
Sorry, I'm trying to.
Talk to Dan.
Reset some settings here. just think it'd be fun to make up stories about how things are named. You know, we're on Beach Street, Beech Street in St. Paul, and I think it was named after the guy who invented beech nuts, beech nut gum. So, but the reality is it was probably a philanthropist named Beach or a public servant.
Silver Lake Road, Echo West.
Here's what I do know. If you were Mr. and Mrs. Beach, whoever this is named after, you probably wouldn't want people dumping stolens on your street that's named after you.
I'm just double checking we're all DOT at 1700, right? I'll take the APD.
We're south on Earl Street now.
Copy it. If you want to hold off for now, I think it's going to be in St. Paul. She's calling back.
50. I'll take the DOC for now.
And 106.
And 103, my right on.
River safety threatened anyone.
I see somebody posted I should start thinking about
158.
dinner. Come on, Rachel. I would say
State 5 there's squad that connects to State 5 at Aldi on Panhandlers. There's
enchiladas.
Aldi at 11:55.
Enchiladas would be a good dinner. So you can pick the protein.
50-25. I'm sorry, I'm closer to Lincoln Drive. I'll take that one first.
Actually, can I have you just both divert? It sounds like it is going to be on the Roseville side. Lerpenter and Dunlap announced the accident injuries. Okay,
110-1, 23rd.
okay.
Put it on 34th Street North. I love it. I open the aviators.
Let's drive down here by Earl and Old Hudson and a couple of busy bars down here, but although they're looking busy, there's no issues. Ooh, egg rolls. Someone said chicken fried rice, lo mein, and egg rolls. Now that is a dinner right there. I like that. If you're like me and you don't know how to make egg rolls or chicken fried rice, go. The egg roll queen, I saw that truck was up at Larpenter and Lexington today in the parking lot up there, where you can get egg rolls and fried rice, and it's really good, really good. if you saw those guys that had the hot tub on the trailer back there, but I don't know who they are, but I feel sorry for them because having moved
Looks like it might be a hit.
hot tubs,
Injuries, the caller for the third vehicle hit both the vehicles on scene, and
it's never easy.
However, this is a white stand.
Never easy moving them.
50.
16 pretty much. You need 75 on traffic.
Back on school for.
Take break.
So we're back northbound on Earl. So many of you may not know this, even if you are a historian of St. Paul, but the guy who named the streets had a brother-in-law named Earl who always complained that he didn't name a street after him. So this is Earl Street right here.
Take pretty free.
Street back there. I got a green Tahoe here, no plate. At that little gas station or convenience store at Sherwood and Prosperity. Whatever that corner is there.
Alright. We're going to head up that way. Sergeant Servaka's got a green Tahoe with no plates on it at
Sherwood Prosperity.
Sherwood and Prosperity. We're not super close, but close enough to where we can probably get there in time to be of assistance.
Anybody else have anything?
People ask sometimes, well, why don't you turn on your lights and siren? And
135.
sometimes you can actually get through traffic easier,
Pretty close.
135.
more easily not doing that.
Not really. Haven't been left yet, but we'll start your way.
Got a store right now. It's got a temp tape taped to the back window inside, but it's not traffic. I don't know what it is. Not one of ours, if it is.
Okay. Any of those stuff for you?
So I'm gonna swing around this traffic.
Good night. Anyone else for 1700 yen, please? 233 copy in. Have a good day.
339. 347. 347. 351. 353. 353. 356. 358. 358.
Mike, I'm coming up Prosperity from Maryland.
Yeah, he's still just looking in the corner. Stopping at the pump here. Pump here.
Copy that. I'll be there in a few blocks.
White male, no hair, black shirt, khaki short.
Hang up. 2100 bucks.
Hi, Neil. Take a right. Just pulling what I got.
I copy the welfare check, plus 15 grand at 60.
Go ahead.
Another squad purpose for welfare check, 46 4th Street East, apartment 1306, for welfare check. A nurse there was on the phone with a patient named Marcus, who threatened his girlfriend who was on scene there with him, and the nurse was requesting a welfare check on the female that was there.
What's 531?
1047. Degrading.
Code 4.
Was that you that went code 4, Mike?
Yeah, the state attempt take. Plate's taken for the DUI.
Copy. It looks like everyone's tied up all better for now.
Proceed. 8297, 8394.
That 4.
Site 1900 Silver Lake Road, Nystrom and Associates, number 110. There's two teenagers that are fist fighting. Second floor.
That 4, Charlie.
Safety.
8295 at me.
Safety.
Clearing.
Alrighty. Perfect one there. I'm live. Just so don't swear. Again.
My sister just texted me and she says she can hear me on the radio, but I sound garbled. Do I sound garbled?
You were garbled when I was on set. I was coming up Prosperity. Your transmission sounded digitized.
Okay. I don't know
So,
why. I told her she's
You
hearing.
had been sounding
She's got
good.
a problem with her hearing, but she didn't want to hear that. So.
Yeah, tell her she's got a problem with her hearing. It was loud and clear.
Okay.
Lima Charlie. All right. Hi to Mike's sister. You're right. He was garbled. Probably because he was using his portable radio by his car radio. So that's what happens. And then it does what's called digitize. So it kind of sounds like you're under electronic water, if that makes any sense. So that gentleman had a temporary registration taped in his back window that you couldn't see. But he was very cooperative. It's his brother's truck, and he didn't have any warrants or anything, so we sent him along. And he was the epitome of an East Sider. He looked tough, but was a nice guy. So, and just going about his life. So if you just joined us, we're on the east side of the city of St. Paul in Minnesota, and you're with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office, I promoted you up to the.
Call the wrap. See you tomorrow, guys. I'll let you know when I'm in service.
Good one, Pat.
See you, Pat. Pat's going home. He's been working all day. And you're with the Ramsey County Sheriff's Office and on Live on Patrol, and I'm Undersheriff Mike Martin. I have the honor of overseeing the Regional Services and Apprehension Division, which is our carjacking and auto theft team, our intel unit, our apprehension unit, our violent crime enforcement team, our investigative unit, central investigations unit, the SWAT team, and the mobile response team, which are collateral duties. In other words, those deputies do other things most of the time, and then when they're needed, they come together. And so I get to do a lot of the fun stuff, and our job is to support our patrol deputies and obviously the citizens, and go out there and proactively work to reduce crimes. So
That was 5380.
we also run the East Metro Real-Time Information Center, which are I would call them crime analysts. That's not their official title, who monitor the radio and feed real-time information out to all the officers in Ramsey County, whether it's St. Paul, our deputies, the suburbs, and so if they're looking for a suspect, they'll send a picture out of the suspect or information about where they live, and they're an incredibly valuable resource.
My cat's not working. If it still shows me in the DOC, I'll back 380 on the flipper.
8394 status. 611 Death Line Avenue is marked as a domestic, where the caller Death Line is out of control and he wants to talk to me. 8394 number 8 status.
So there's New Brighton officers are at a medical clinic that does a lot of counseling and mental health issues or whatever, and there was a fight inside of the clinic, and so the dispatcher was just checking on their status because she hadn't heard from them. And our dispatchers are our lifeline. Oftentimes they check on us if they haven't heard from us or they lose contact with us, and we'll send other squads to come and check. So we owe them a great note of gratitude.
Number is full. Barely right.
We're to go south here on Payne.
5280.
5280, stand by 153. They're coming on the red. Do you want them cleared in when they get there?
Good man, there's the number.
5280, go ahead.
First, considering the DLC gets down here.
So you heard the dispatcher there. She's clarifying with the squads. Do they want the EMS when they get there to come right in? Or, in other words, is it safe for them to come in? Or do they want them to stage outside and wait until the officers tell them it's safe? So here's the deal is we'll tease them sometimes about, having us make sure it's safe before they come in. Same with the firefighters, but here's the deal is it doesn't do us any good if they get in there and they end up in the same fight that we're in and they can't help anybody. So we want to make sure they're safe. They're also not armed and don't have the tools that we have. And so we want to make sure it's safe before our
267.
partners come in.
Get clear.
Those squads medics are responding for a male who fainted at 2738 Dale Street, 82-year-old.
If you saw that guy that just ran by, he's voluntarily running. There's nobody chasing him. So that's a good thing.
267 another response is listed 221 Street.
If you see me running down the sidewalk, make sure you look behind me and see what's chasing me. Hopefully it's not a canine.
1375. Clear assistance. For 10 minutes.
Just stand by on that. I'll look for like 3 1 up to the school with you taking the house of the city.
287.
27.
Alright, you can pen by it. You can tell me 267.
So we're going south on Payne here, down towards East 7th,
420.
passing your Russo's and Morelli's.
You can you add me a 530's car, phone number 720-201.
Around the third floor. On our way up.
Information code 2039.
So we're on East 7th. We're coming into downtown St. Paul. We're gonna just see how things are down in downtown and on West 7th.
For Clarkmore here, juvenile and back home. He changes to juvenile incident, please.
Lighten. Somebody calling Lighten. You gonna be at the fair for a while? Permanent. Where you at? Right now I'm up by Martha's Cookies in the north end of the fair.
So our deputies are going up. The Minnesota State Fair will start here in 16 days, I believe it is. And we always assist up there, and they're up there just checking the perimeter and flying drones, because we will be supporting them with drone coverage again this year. And it's just part of the enhanced security that we have at the fair.
Please Delta Mike 3421 is a Wisconsin plate. Mitsubishi Outlander, white in color, suspect of a long bang. Asian male, 5'5", 130. So the firearm was not recovered. Information.
Alright, so they're putting info out on a robbery that occurred.
5284, right?
Trying to find if they put it out in written form, because I missed the very beginning. In the city of Maplewood, there was an armed robbery, and they have identified the suspect and the vehicle involved, and so they've put it out. I'm not going to repeat it to you just because it wouldn't be safe for a citizen to encounter them at all. But now we're aware of it. But we assist because the state fair is in Ramsey County. And we support the patrol and support the cities around it. We always help them out, and every year it gets a little bit safer. And I can assure you, my kids and my family go out to the state fair, and we do everything we can to make sure that it's a great environment. There must be a concert at the Excel Energy Center tonight, because there are people standing in line.
4446, I copy the update.
See a couple cowboy hats.
7828 medical.
Let's see if we can figure out who's in concert. We may have to go ask them.
8406 Nola Drive, 55-year-old female, not feeling well, history of diabetes, blood sugar low.
They have a marquee that's showing the events there, but I haven't seen anything.
5280, clears first.
Yeah, fine.
They're selling Nickelback merchandise at the outside the concert, so I guess it must be Nickelback.
Thanks, guys. I got a copy.
So we're down on West 7th now. It's kind of the entertainment heart of St. Paul. I mean, there are multiple places, but if you are looking for a fun place to drink and go for before an event or a wild game, this is the place to go down here. looks like a lot of the bars are full.
Your suspect's going to be a white male wearing a black hat, gray shirt, jeans shorts.
I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to get a hard time about this, but I'm not even sure what Nickelback sings. I don't know if they fell into that gap.
Number 8013.
When I was too busy working to pay attention, but someone asked what's my favorite place to eat in this area. Ooh, that's a tough one. Depends on what I'm looking for. A nice steak dinner, Mancini's, Italian, Cassetta, or DeGidio's are good. Sports bar atmosphere, Tom Reed's, Irish, McGovern's. The Downtowner here is a great place. Moe's, Burger Moe's. So in other words, I just cheated and listed most of the places down here because they treat us so well and they're all friends. So
Apartment number to that.
Apartment 13.
13, Mr. Scout, thank you.
Subject rating.
53.
5380. Clear, assist. 5937, now you're arriving at Jimmy John. 364, you can send it to me as
So
well.
looking at the crowd when I went by, it was mostly people younger than me, but that looked like me.
4581.
So
2581.
43 at the LAC, ending mileage 0802.
Everything.
we're at the corner of Chestnut here in West 7th by Cassetta's and the McGovern's and the new Bohemia, which is part of the truck park.
5364.
So beautiful day for people to hang out.
00830948.
Copy this Speedway E line.
Oh,
5380, we're close for.
5380. Copy, go for Jimmy John.
so we're back outside the Xcel Energy Center with the Nickelback fans.
BD 296, BD 287. BD 296. Main Street on a man down, longer hair, blue shirt, and a crest. call it probably about 3 hours old.
Okay, that's in 1306.
Affirmative. 17.
This guy in the crosswalk on the right he's about 2 beers past common sense.
I'll take the special
But he
model.
does have some nice St. Paul Saints
Beautiful.
gear on, so we'll cut him a break.
$23.72.
That's it.
Phone call request on 1551 Idaho.
So we're back east on
Got it.
7th here. We're going to cut out of downtown when we get a chance. Go back north into Central. But all I can say is it looks like it's going to be one heck of a party at the Nickelback concert tonight. And
Copy.
people are already down here priming their pumps, and I wish I knew a song that they sang, or I probably do. I just don't know it's them. So
267, and clear this unfound at 287. Start for them, one hang up on middle.
Copy. I'm 76.
You can leave 180 on it, but it'll be clear assisted.
Copy.
we're about to go by the Fitzgerald Theater here, historic theater in the city of St. Paul. A lot of shows here. For those of you who were Garrison Keillor fans, or fans of now I'm losing it, the name of his show, but on Lake Wobegon, that's where that was shot.
8290.
That's where they
You can cancel a lineup and clear squad.
Garrison Keillor did his show,
Copy. 72.
and I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. But it's not that I'm getting old. It's just that my brain's regenerating and making space for new stuff. Prairie Home Companion, thank you, Mike. Prairie Home Companion. I was too young for that to be entertaining for me at the time, so
Clear this is 36 hours tonight.
we're driving. We're going to be on John Ireland Boulevard here with the state capitol straight ahead of us. By far, top 3 state capitals in Minnesota might be the top state capital. I don't know how many others there are. Of course, I'm kidding. It's the only state capital, but it's beautiful. I would put ours up against any of the ones I've seen in other states.
26 I got it.
I feel really bad. I'm gonna have to go home when I'm done and Google Nickelback and so I know a little bit more about them. I know they're popular. I know people love them. So.
A394.
Couple people have posted Rockstar, so I'll look that one up.
8394. Just info on this call. It sounds like the caller called back as requesting medical help. Copy.
Uh,
23.
One Citation, 180. Mess up to 180 full ticket. One Citation, pretty close. I'll stay on it, but you guys can do it if you want. Otherwise, I'll keep it.
So we're back on Rice Street. Got a St. Paul squad that's out patrolling, keeping everybody safe.
In the lobby. Which lobby? The Minnesota building? Or they'll link for simulator elevator.
Was not the missing wheelchair for the person that asked. The missing wheelchair is really specific looking. It would stick out, and we're pretty sure it was dumped over in the city of St. Paul. I'm sorry, in the city of Minneapolis.
Just to clarify,
On the other side of the
you're not
river.
on the senior call. You're on the 4th Street call with
Because the truck that it was in was recovered over there. And not far from where it was taken.
If you can reopen, sorry, we're clear dispersion. You can reopen Pearl Vision and arrive in there again.
Caller give a direction of travel, or if they were on Pierce Butler or Taylor or anything.
15 and 37. Can you keep my off-duty and pending and then log me out so I can restart my computer?
Copy.
northbound on Rice at Lawson here through the Central District in St. Paul. Tell you, if you're an adult and you have a gun in your house, please secure that gun in a safe or put a trigger lock on it or something so that your children can't play with the gun, and always store the gun unloaded. I realize people think they need to act quick and they want to keep their gun loaded, but not if you have little kids in the house. You have to keep that safeguarded and locked up, because kids are curious, and as much as we like to think we're smarter than them, they're smart. They know where we put stuff, and unfortunately we end up with situations where little kids get guns and play with them and accidentally shoot each other, or they steal the guns and their friends steal them, and it's just not a good idea, and it's against the law. So make sure you're properly securing your firearms. If you don't have a lock, almost any police agency can get you for a free trigger lock, and or go to a sporting goods store and ask them for a trigger lock.
You could be clear with the accidental call.
Gotta be still BWC.
Every year we have to respond to incidents where children have been accidentally shot as a result of negligent storage of firearms, and it's completely preventable.
You can cancel line up. All parties here declining any services.
So we're in Ramsey County in the city of St. Paul. Actually, we've just driven out of the city of St. Paul, Minnesota. We are now driving between Roseville, Minnesota, and Maplewood. Roseville on the left, Maplewood on the right. going northbound into Little Canada, which is one of our contract cities that we primarily patrol, or we are the primary patrol for. So if you call 911 and you're in Little Canada, you're getting a sheriff's deputy in Arden Hills, Shoreview, Little Canada, White Bear Township, Vadnais Heights, Falcon Heights, and North Oaks. And we will show up at your door and say, what can Brown do for you? And assist you. But we also help out at a lot of the suburbs. We provide backup and investigative assistance.
1720.
We don't do Gem Lake anymore. Gem Lake contracted with the city of White Bear Lake. We do White Bear Township, but
475 Allen Avenue, Little Canada, on a domestic. Caller's not on scene but is en route there, so that her daughter said her boyfriend is assaulting her.
Pick up that 2365. I'll replace one of them.
Street back. Those spots. The caller is threatening to kill the mill when she gets there. She's pulling in the driveway now. I'm still waiting on the description.
2356 has it.
Copy.
Head towards that domestic assault until it's resolved, or so we have a report of a male, it sounds like, beating his girlfriend. And we're not super close, but up here in the county, we're probably as close as almost anyone else except that squad that's in front of us. So we will head that way until they get
2356
code 4.
No squad driving on scene to set an update. Matthew Sawicki, 17 of 84. He's a white male, 40 years old, gray shirt, running him now.
looks there's already a few squads here. So All right. Well, sorry for the delay there, but this was a domestic. It wasn't a physical assault. It was a verbal domestic. Sounds like both halves were intoxicated and arguing, and the female half just wanted some property out of the house, and the male half won't open the door. So we are going to she's going to come back another day when everybody sobers up and get an escort and get her property back out of the house. So so we had a good presence of deputies there to ensure the safety of everyone, so that was good. Apparently the deputies were very familiar with this couple. They argue a lot when they've been drinking, and but this time it had not become physical, which is very good, and neither one was in fear of the other one, so that makes it a little bit easier. We separate them and resolve the property issue on another day. So it's kind of disheartening to see young people who don't understand how the alcohol affects their relationship. That they're probably fine when they're sober, and the drinking leads to being mean to each other. So hopefully they figure that out and either quit drinking or figure out how to prevent that from happening. Well, I'm going to call it quits for today. I really appreciate everyone who's stuck by watching all afternoon. It wasn't too exciting, but we got a couple calls and a couple things to do, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I might see you on Wednesday, depending on when the cat team guys go out, and maybe on Friday. So thanks again for watching, and be safe, be kind to one another. Keep in mind that you never know what the person you're with is going through inside, so try to always be kind.